those who have been liberated, those who are being carried by the risen Christ. I invite us to hear a word from Luke's Gospel, chapter 17, beginning in the 11th verse. Listen for the word of the Lord. On the way to Jerusalem, Jesus traveled along the border between Samaria and Galilee. As he entered a village, 10 men with skin diseases approached him, keeping their distance from him. They raised their voices and said, "Jesus, Master, show us mercy." When Jesus saw them, he said, "Go, show yourselves to the priests." Sign that they would be cleansed ritually, much as we just celebrated in baptism. Jews did this on a regular basis to be clean before God. "Go, show yourselves to the priests," Jesus says. As they left, they were cleansed. One of them, when he saw that he'd been healed, returned and praised God with a loud voice. He fell on his face at Jesus' feet and thanked him. He was a Samaritan. Jesus replied, "Weren't 10 cleansed? Where are the other 9? No one returned to praise God except this foreigner?" Then Jesus said to him, "Get up and go. Your faith has healed you." Dear and gracious God, thank you for taking our wounds. Thank you for taking our fears. Thank you for taking our isolation. Thank you for taking our otherness and putting it to death on the cross, that we might live. And live a life of resurrection, live a life of freedom, live a life of joy as you intended, regardless of who we are and where we come from. Amen. So, I don't know about you, but Easter, that whole Holy Week, was just something special. From Palm Sunday to Maundy Thursday to Good Friday to sunrise service to 3 services here at the church. It was just glorious. And I would selfishly say that there's a part of me as a pastor and as a staff, you want to be able to say that after that much work and that much glory, you want to say, can we just take a couple of weeks off? I mean, wasn't that good enough to last a couple of weeks? But then you wake up and realize, no, Sunday's coming and you got to do something all over again. And so we gathered as staff on Tuesday. We actually took Monday off. And I didn't want to leave Easter too quickly. I didn't want to just rush on to the next thing. Because I knew that unlike Christmas, for which we only have 12 days, we say, right? Partridge and pear tree and that sort of thing. That Easter actually is this season that extends beyond a day. And it extends beyond the next Sunday. It actually goes for about 7 Sundays, a whole season before we celebrate Pentecost. And so I asked myself, how is it that we might just linger in the afterglow like you do after somebody has said something really profound around a campfire, and everybody just kind of stares into the campfire and savors the moment. So I gathered my staff on Tuesday and I said, listen, before we get on to reports and planning, for the next 6 weeks, I'd like you to answer a couple of questions. Bow your heads and ask yourself, where was I moved? Where was I moved in the last week over the Easter weekend? Gave everybody a chance to ponder that and then to share that, to share out loud their own personal testimony, lift their voice for what it was that was meaningful to them. And it was as varied as there were persons. Different things for different people, right? And then I asked them to bow their heads and say, now think of one word of affirmation or thanksgiving that you'd like to direct to somebody else sitting around the table. Because everybody had a part in pulling all of that magnificence together. And they were quiet for a bit, and then we went around the table again. And this time we offered words of praise, words of gratitude to other members of staff, and sometimes to non-present lay people who had made so much happen, like that extravaganza. I think that's important. because when you tie grace together with gratitude, how we experienced grace in all of its various ways, and then being able to respond to that with gratitude or thanksgiving, we are really talking about two sides of the same coin: grace and gratitude. Indeed, those two words come from the same root word. Grace and gratitude come from the same root word, gratis, which actually means pleasing. And before that, the root word has to do with raising your voice. So both grace and gratitude have to do with raising your voice about that which is pleasing. A grace you've observed or extended, a raising your voice and lifting a thanksgiving or a gratitude for the grace which has been extended. That all of this ties together as something good in God's eyes. That ties together as something worth pausing for and lingering a bit. In the same way, I really want us as a church to not rush on to the next thing after Easter. I would like for us as a church during this Easter season to linger a bit around an empty cross. I'd like us to linger a bit around an empty tomb. I'd like us to linger a little bit about the grace which we realize has been extended not just on a Sunday, but every day of our lives. And to be able to lift our voices with gratitude. Thanksgiving for that which has been so pleasing in our lives and in the lives of so many around us. Like a baptism. I don't do this often, but I want to share with you a 5-minute video. And in this, you're going to see a young girl drop a coin, a single coin, in the hat of a street musician in a plaza, in a city, in Spain. And I just want you to linger there and think about the interplay between grace that is given and the gratitude that comes in response, and how the raising of voices makes all of that possible. Enjoy. next service. Come on, come on. Ode to Joy by Beethoven, and you've got it on medium volume. Grace, gratitude, and raising our voices to express the same. This is the stuff of a resurrected life. This is the stuff that sees the possibility when the world does not see it. This is the stuff of our gospel and his word to us today. Not just Jesus' word, but Luke's word to the church. It starts quietly enough. It starts benignly enough. But it quickly gets much louder. Jesus is walking a border, Luke tells us, between Galilee and Samaria. And in their context, that border has an invisible wall as high as any. And the only thing that would make that context more difficult for a foreigner is if you're a leper, which is what some translations say. Somebody who has any of a variety of skin diseases, not just Hansen's disease. That makes that person not just a foreigner, a Samaritan, but an outcast, because they have skin disease. Lepers know, they just know by societal standards, that they're not to mix with others different than themselves. Lepers know that they are to stay within their colonies. Lepers know, and those who were outcasts then knew, that you only approached those non-lepers by approaching just so closely to the road or the pathway so that persons could toss you some coins, a little bit of charity to get past your subsistence level, to just barely survive on the charity of others. What we know about Jesus, especially through Luke's gospel, is that he was constantly crossing borders. He was constantly going where the proper people don't go. He was constantly opening his arms of grace and welcome to those who were despised, to those who were diseased, to those who were not part of proper society, to those who were the minority, to those who were different, and welcomed them. And we already know this by the time we get to chapter 17. So that when not only Samaritans, but also Samaritans with skin disease cry out, "Lord Jesus, heal us," we're not surprised that Jesus responds specifically to them, much to the amazement, much to the shock of proper society. And he says, "Go, show yourselves to the priest." And as I said earlier, go through the ritual cleansing that you're not allowed to go through, and you will be cleansed. And maybe because he knows that's never going to happen for them, because a priest in his right mind would never allow them into the temple, heals them before they even step out of the scene. And as they're leaving Jesus, they realize, my gosh, my skin is as soft as a child, and I have been healed. And 9 take off. 1 returns. The Samaritan. And he cries out with a voice that matches the earlier cry for healing. For the grace that is received, his voice matches with gratitude. As he falls at Jesus' feet and he praises God for the healing that has come to him. And Jesus, I'm sure, is appreciative of that, but he asks the right question. Weren't there 10? Where are the other 9? Luke doesn't answer that question for us. Maybe they were so excited they forgot the source of their newfound healing, and they couldn't wait to go tell others. Maybe they went to go pack their bags and their homes because now they'd be able to move out of the leper colony and move back into proper society. Maybe they chose not to say anything to Jesus out of Thanksgiving because, well, they knew they really deserved this all along, and they're finally just getting their fair share. Why would you thank anybody for what's already due you? We don't know. All we know is that one least expecting or least suspected person, a Samaritan, comes and falls down and praises God. And Jesus says the most interesting thing: rise, your faith has healed you. Now, if we're paying attention to what we just heard read, we're going, no, wait a minute, I thought, wasn't he already healed with the 10 a few moments earlier? Answer, yes. So why is he having to be healed again? That doesn't make sense. Until you remember what we talked about several weeks ago during Lent. That in the New Testament, the word that is translated heal is the same word that's translated saved. That what is happening in this second incident, this second time frame, is now his soul is being saved. He was one of all 10 who were cured physically, but only one comes back to enjoy and receive the gift of life that is really life, of both body and soul. That 10 are healed, only one is saved. 9 go away cured, but only one comes back to receive more than he had ever dreamed of asking for. Just as surely as one small Spanish girl drops a coin in a street musician's hat and receives far more than she could ever have imagined. And salvation and the joy of salvation rises and swells and becomes evident to all who are present that there is more than an earthly curing going on here. There is a soulful healing that is going on here. That, I'm convinced, is what enabled Beethoven to write Ode of Joy in less than 24 hours. He was so moved by the love of Christ in his life that the words just flew and the notes flew out of his mind and onto the staffs of music. We all know what it is to linger around those sources of grace, those unexpected arrivals of incredible joy, an incredible gift to our lives that we know are finally beyond our ability to control. We just celebrated one this morning. There's another woman in our church that does something of what it is to know healing in a curative sense, but to also know healing of a soulful sense for her life and what has become the rest of her life. Jan Samuels, one of the co-chairs of Our Home campaign, talks about an experience over 40 years ago that moved her to her soul and changed the trajectory of her life. Give it a listen.
In 1970, a young couple moved to Plano, Texas. They didn't know a soul. With them, they brought their little boy, who was 2.5, and their baby girl, who was almost 1, along with a little toy fox terrier named Baby. They moved into their house and had only been there a couple of weeks when 2 women from First Methodist Church Plano, Irene Michelle and Mildred Blair, came to visit. They wanted to invite them to visit First Methodist Church Plano. But before they could visit the church, their little girl was diagnosed with spinal meningitis. The mother had been to the doctor that morning and they had told her that they needed to take her to the hospital. The hospital was a good distance away. It was in Richardson. It was on Spring Valley Road, and it was just a 1-story building, but it was the closest hospital. When they got there, the mother desperately called the father to tell him about the diagnosis. They only had one car. So the dad didn't know how he was going to get there since they knew no one. They'd made some contacts with First United Methodist Church, so they gave a call to the church asking if anybody could help them get to the hospital. Jim Palmer was pastor then. He quickly jumped into his car and drove to pick up the father and the little boy, and they very quickly drove to the hospital on Spring Valley Road. After they arrived, and within 2 days, there were 2 ladies from the church at First Methodist. One was Mary Jeffers, and the other was Barbara Allen. These 2 angels agreed to take care of the little 2.5-year-old boy while the mother spent the days at the hospital with the baby, and while the dad worked. The dad spent the nights at the hospital. I'm glad to report that she was in the hospital for 18 days, but she survived that illness and has had no lingering effects whatsoever. Sometimes I say, if it slowed her down any at all, I'm glad. Our church was there for us in 1970, when it was just 125 years old. The people, generations before us, had seen to it that that church would be there when anybody needed it. A home with an open door to anybody that needed help. Later, much later, now, since this is our story, I can tell you that the church is 170 years old, and my greatest hope is that this church will continue to be the shining church on the hill, waiting for those, eager to help those that are in need for the next 170 years.
You have in your bulletin card. And when you came to church this morning, you might have noticed that there are a number of cards already arrayed around the church. Those are cards of gratitude for grace in their lives from our children and from our youth. It's our turn to join them. And as the band of gathers